What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about OnyxCoin today, XCN. Hit that like button, you guys. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it, okay? Here we are at about 1 cent now. Yesterday, whenever I was making my video, we were at about, we were probably around the same exact area, but we were halfway done with this candle. Looking for some resolution, right? I did say that if we close 2 red candles in a row, that'd likely mark this as the top. The fact that we haven't leaves the door open. We're basically back in the same area as before. I don't know necessarily whether we're going to move up or move down from here. I wouldn't expect that we move up. It could happen, and we can go over all those areas or scenarios. For one, you have rejected this area, an area that we've consistently rejected throughout this whole downtrend, this entire area here, and likely whenever we do that, even if we find support at the 50 as we did here, you find support as you did here, or consolidate a little bit here. Every time we find resistance here or around here, we do go down to the oversold zone and we see lower prices. So we haven't done anything stupendous yet. I say every time. There was this one time, but inevitably we still went lower, right? This time here, we did close like 3 candles to the downside. We found support and we continued to move up. Let's just see where we found support on the golden ratio there from a low to a high. That was right at the 0.5. A lot of cryptos like their 0.5 here. Let's just see what you're doing over here. Is it at the 0.5? If it's at the 382, it's even better. 382. 382 is better, to be completely fair. Hour and 26 minutes left, and we closed above the 236 last candle. Okay, so let's give some if-ands, because you're still finding support at the 382, which is nice. So if you close this next 4-hour candle above 1.033 cents, and I think that was the target last night, if you close above there, it's very likely that we do continue moving higher. It's very likely that we do. Now, how much higher do we move? A little bit, a lot of bit. I don't know. I'm not playing with XCN down here because the reality of the matter is, you guys, we are moments away on a time perspective. We are days away, maybe not even then, from a miraculous recovery of this overall trend. We're going to go up to 20 cents. We're going to go up to more. I had somebody in the comments who was saying that I was doubting that we were going to 20 cents. They were like implying that. They're like, you don't know if it's going to 20 cents. You don't know if it's going below 0.009 cents. Like, it's all just a guess. And it's like, I don't know what your comprehensive abilities are, but very clearly, I think for months now, or maybe not even months, but at least weeks, if not over a month from now, I've been saying that we're going to go above 20 cents. That's been like the minimum call for a long time. That hasn't changed. I even said it, and I know I said this in yesterday's video, that the downside targets have changed a little bit. And they haven't even really necessarily changed. This could be the low, which was one of the downside targets we had all along. But we just, we don't have confirmation of that yet. We're looking for confirmation. And that's kind of the whole purpose of today's video and yesterday's video. We're looking for confirmation. But the upside targets have not changed, you guys. For even the people with low comprehensive abilities, which if you go through the comments, you can spot those guys out real easy. It's very clear what I'm saying here, right? Short term, let's say curious, short-term indifferent on what the price does, long-term, mid-term, not even, long-term bullish, but mid-term, like over the next couple of months, over the next quarter of a year, very bullish. We're going to be up, we're at 1 cent right now, guys. I'm talking about a 20x or more. Let's not mistake that, okay? But let's get back to work. Let's stop fooling around. If we do move up higher from here, where are we going to go? Because we could move up higher from here. It is very possible, especially if we can close, hold on, guys. Especially if we can close this 4-hour candle in the next 1 hour and 24 minutes above the 236. We're only down 2%. I know you got it in you, XCN. You could do it. Let's look at the 1-hour time frame and see if we can actually figure this out first. 1-hour time frame, lower lows in the RSI, higher lows in the price. That's hidden bullish divergence, guys, and we're getting a nice little reaction here. 23 minutes left. I don't know. I'm a little bit optimistic. The fact that we've moved sideways instead of just moving down, that's kind of nice. I gotta admit, that's kind of nice. Is this a bull flag? Kind of. It's like a pennant, I guess. Some kind of consolidation phase. We are in an overall prevailing downtrend, so that does hurt the likelihood of it going to the upside technically, but I like the 1-hour RSI. I do. 15-minute time frame, yeah. You're getting lower lows as well. You do have a lower low here, to be fair, and you did pick up a little bit volume on that drop, but it's not significant. It's nothing like too crazy. I'm going to stick with it. 1.033 cents. If you can close above there on any hourly, 4-hourly basis, it's time to start thinking that we might actually move up. However, if we do close just a little bit lower, I would say technically just here, close below 0.00992 on an hourly basis or higher time frame, and likely we will be breaking out to the downside, okay? Even if we're not breaking out, we could be doing this thing that we've done basically throughout this whole move down, which is having a slow kind of bleed, and then once we're finally ready for our low, we pick up the pace. So maybe this is the beginning of our slow bleed down. It doesn't mean that if we close below this white line that we're going to drop through the floor, and maybe we do, but just over the coming days, whoops, that's not what I meant to do. Come on now, man, I'm getting all over the place. We can just like kind of slowly bleed down, and then as we pick up the pace, that would be our low area, and then we have a nice rapid recovery afterwards, right? Something like that. But assuming that we do move up, because I do like the 15-minute RSI, I do like because you're getting overbought, you're not getting oversold. That's nice as of now. I like the 1 hour RSI. It seems to be encouraging. And the 4 hour RSI, while in this area that we've found resistance at plenty of times, there are times where we do continue to go higher. Bouncing off the 50 does set you up to go higher. But what I would need to see, or what I'd like to see, is that you close this 4 hour period here green. That's what I would like to see, or at least above 0.01033, something like that, right? If that happens, if either of those things happen, you close this green or you close above 0.1033, which is basically in that same area. The next target area, drum roll please, because I feel like I've been alluding to this for way too long now. From a high to a low, let's see. Gone just above the 382. Oh, we haven't hit the 236. I would think you would hit the 236, but just because you haven't doesn't mean you have to. The next target area would be 1.2 cents. 1.2 cents might be where we go. And if we go there, my friends, if we go to 1.2 cents, I think we're saved. I think we are fine. We are not going to go below the land of the rising sun. We'll probably come back down and form some kind of a double bottom or a higher low, whatever it is. If we do go lower, it'd be a slightly lower, fake out low or something like that. But at that point, I mean, man, if we move all the way up here and Bitcoin starts to really drop from there, what, Bitcoin's going to drop 14%, we're going to drop more than 29%? I don't think so. So we can definitely see some volatility on the way down, but that kind of move, getting up, I will say getting up to 1.2 cents to 1.12, if we get up there at around 1.2 cents, even breaking above it, that's not compelling evidence that this is the low yet. Closing a couple 4 hour periods above here, closing a daily period above there, I would be convinced. But we have to close a day above there, right? Or a couple of days above there, a couple of 4 hour periods above there. But it would at least encourage the thought that this is the low. Right now, we're still uncertain, right? If we just come up here and reject it, which is more of what I would anticipate if we move up, is that we just find resistance at it. We don't close above it or anything like that. It's still possible that this could be the low, but it all depends on how fast we reject it. What's Bitcoin doing? Is it moving down with us? Is it just chilling? If Bitcoin's just chilling and it's not doing anything, and we're all the way back down here, right, at these prices, we moved up and Bitcoin's not doing anything, and then we move back down and Bitcoin's not doing anything, then we're basically in the same boat that we're in now, where we likely will forsake the long promised prophecy of the land of the rising sun holding us up here. Justin Sun, don't you dare forsake us, man. Don't you do it. And to be completely fair, I guess actually we do have a little bit lower of a price than I was originally thinking. This is technically, this is the low. This might be the base of the land of the rising sun, 0082, because this period here was when Justin Sun was pointing fingers at chain.com and OnyxDAO and saying they were manipulating the price, and then within an hour later he took it back, he deleted it all, they figured it out, they hugged, they kissed, they became best friends. It's true, they had a sleepover and everything, they made hot cocoa and told stories. It was a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing, that's how men do it. That's how men, they get in fights and then they share hot cocoa. I don't know. Maybe not everybody. That's just in my circles, man. I live in Colorado. No, but anyways, here we are at about who hasn't had a slumber party with their boys, man. Come on. You're not a real man if you don't slumber party. Getting away from the silly stuff, though, I suppose we're in the same boat as we were yesterday, right? I'm not really completely convinced that we move up from here. It's totally fine if we don't, right? We'll probably see some stuff like this. And I think that the most likely outcome would be that we just kind of move sideways and are rather boring. Maybe some volatility here and there. Every dump gets bought into, every pump gets sold into, just stuff like that, and slowly working our way down, something like that, until we're ready for the drop. We pick up the pace, and then boom, we're moving up. But I do think regardless of what happens, whether we move up from here, whether this is the low or it isn't the low, we will have resolution of this move. It will be provided for us over the coming days. I think that by the 2nd of April, if not sometime maybe by the end of this next week, like on the 4th or something like that, as late as the 4th, I think we will have resolution. Ultimately, I think it depends on Bitcoin. And just because Bitcoin goes lower, right? Make no mistake, just because Bitcoin sees lower lows does not mean that XCN has to see lower lows. It's not quite that cut and dry. A lot of things can happen to prevent that. But as of now, if without seeing any kind of pump or any kind of movement upwards, it would be very likely that if Bitcoin drops 11 to 14%, that XCN would drop more than that, right? So if Bitcoin drops 11 to 14%, I would think XCN drops down to that 007 area, 00775, 00726, something like that, somewhere in that area. If this is the high and we don't go higher, low to high here, that would put us at 00725 for the golden ratio, 00792 for the 1272. So targets to be aware of. Doesn't mean we have to go down there. No, it doesn't mean we have to go down there, but we could. It's just something to be aware of. And by the way, that 1618, I think it does come in line very well with this 1886, doesn't it? Yeah, it comes in line pretty well with that 1886 area there. So just be aware of that. A little bit lower, I suppose, is on the brain, but I wouldn't say it's the call. We're basically back where we were yesterday. If anything, if I really had to guess, I'd want to wait to see how this 4 hour closes before I make this call. I feel like that would be the best thing to say, but I'm kind of optimistic, man. This 1 hour gives me some hope, but the trick there is that first off, we can't move down 1.9% over the next 16 minutes. So you guys will know by the time this video comes out. If we need to hold this 50. I think that would be nice. We hold this 50, an area of resistance before, area of resistance here, right? We even find resistance at lower levels there. But if we can find support here now and continue getting into that overbought zone, there's no doubt in my head that the next target area we're running to is 1.2 cents. If we can close today or multiple 4 hour candles above 1.2 cents, that's very, very validating to the notion that this is the low here. If we find resistance here, there's a chance that that's the low. If we reject right off of it immediately and Bitcoin hasn't moved down at all as a result of that, we're probably just back in the same boat that we're in now, where we're going to go down to 0077, 0072, somewhere in that area. But until then, I guess we're just waiting to see, guys. Waiting for the resolution of this very tiny move. On the bright side, these small moves on the 1 hour time frame, they don't take a whole lot of time to resolve themselves. So by the end of today, I would think that we have a more proper heading. If I had to guess, if I had to lean one way or another, because I feel like it is just a straight guess at this point, I'm going to say to the upside. I think we do go to 1.2 cents, somewhere around there. But don't be surprised, guys. Don't be surprised if we move down. And if we do take out this low, I think that absolves us of going lower. But anything can happen. We could move lower and then rip, right? The whole reason why I'm saying this stuff is I don't want people to get too excited just because we move up, and I don't want people to get too discouraged if we move down, right? It's very, very possible, and I would say even likely at this point, that we do go below this low, but that likelihood can change if we get up above 1.2 cents, and that might be where we're going here. So I'm just going to call for that. I guess the heading right now is 1.2 cents. It's a bit premature because we have 15 minutes left in this 1 hour, and I don't know if it's as long as it closes green, I don't have a problem with that. The 4 hour time frame is also red, and if it closes green, that would really help validate it. If it closes red, it's not invalidating, but it would just be validating to get here. So definitely taking a shot in the dark at this point, but the TA is valid, the target areas are valid, and even if we don't move to the upside, you're still aware of what to look for to the downside, right? So that's all that matters. You've got both sides of the coin, hopefully clearly visible. If you have poor comprehensive abilities, well, you won't understand the message, and that's okay. That's okay. You'll let us know in the comments, I'm sure. It does seem as though we are slowly, oh so slowly, sloping away from this area, aren't we? Is that February 3rd? I don't know if I like that low there. We take these lows here, right? Something like this. It seems as though your support lines are diverging, and this is kind of nice, right? You can see it happening. It's almost like a cup at the bottom here, and that's definitely nice. Can we maintain this cup, or are we about to rip through it and just say screw you, we're going down to 0067? I doubt that we go that low, but we could. You never know. As long as we're turning the beat around a little bit, these drops are getting less and less intense. It's taking more time to drop. You're seeing the momentum shift like this. I think that we're in good shape, and inevitably, guys, regardless of what happens in the short term, we're going to be moving up to 20 cents and beyond. Oh, right. That's what I was going to do. I'm sorry. Oh, man. XCN USD. That's what we're going to do. XCN BTC. Yeah. We're going to compare OnyxCoin to Bitcoin, and then we're going to compare it to the US dollars, and then we're going to compare Bitcoin as well. We're going to do the whole damn shebang. Why do I believe OnyxCoin is going to 20 cents? Well, it really is. First off, it's coming from oops, not this one. This one right here, my bad. It is coming from target areas that we have based on the USD chart, right? But it's validated by the targets that we have on the Bitcoin chart. High to low here, your all-time high is at 18 cents there, right? I don't think that we're going to go to 82 cents there. I don't actually know why I drew this fib, but from a high to a low here, Your 3618 is all the way up there at 20 cents to 26 cents. We have been consolidating, right? We found support or resistance at the 2618. We found support down in this area. Likely whenever we break out and we go above the 2618, we don't stop in the money zone. The money zone is oftentimes a stopping point, but only if it's your first like kind of attempt around this area. Being that this will be your second attempt, I think you break through. Where do you go if you break through this zone? Well, 20 cents, 26 cents right there. That's the target area, the minimum kind of target area. Okay. If we were to assume that XCN has found its low, and maybe it has, maybe it hasn't, if it goes a little bit lower, by the way, you see this 1272 here. Notice how it moves up. It moves up as I pull this price down. So this is a conservative target. If we go lower, then these targets will only be higher. But if this is accurate, then we've got accurate targets here. Last time from this low to high or high to low here, we found the 2618 as resistance, right? That's exactly where we topped off. High to low here, we topped off right at the 2618, right there, 2618. Okay, I'm not calling for that this time. That's all the way up at 85 cents. And maybe we run all the way up there. Wouldn't that be miraculous? An 80x? Damn, dude, that would be phenomenal. We really caught a winner with this one. But I think instead what we do is we'll probably stop either around the 2272 or lower, right? And the 2272 is pretty damn high. I don't actually think that we get there. I would think the 1886 to 200 is a nice area here. 23 to 28 cents. We could stop at 14 cents. It's possible, you know, it's possible. But again, if we go lower, these targets only get higher. But the reason why I don't think that we stop at 14 cents is once we're up at this area, once we're up at new all-time highs, and we compare this kind of bull flag here, I think the bull flag actually from this point would take us right to 14 cents, wouldn't it? No, it takes us right to our all-time high area, right there at around 18 cents. The reason why I think that we will not stop there is because our measure move is above this. With the measure move, you either stop just below or just above. And when we're getting to our all-time high areas, when crypto's bullish, more bullish now than it was in January, right? The upcoming months are going to be more bullish. My thoughts are that we see a more bullish move. Yes, a more bullish move. Maybe not overall from the low to the high, but from this bull pull, it's the measure move is not a requirement. It's an idea. You can fall short of it. You can exceed it. If we fall short of it, okay, 14.6 cents is the target area. But if we exceed it, 23 to 28 cents is the target area, okay? And we've done all this before. And then one day I just was bored and I decided to compare it to Bitcoin and see if we found any congruence there. And we did. We found a lot of congruence, actually. Found a lot of congruence at these areas, and it's really what gets me the most excited. If we look at Bitcoin here, or the XCN versus Bitcoin pair, you find resistance here, you can see that you've been finding support, or sorry, you did find support here for about a month, for a few weeks, 4 weeks, whatever, and then you found resistance here right at the base of this area. Why would you find resistance here? Well, again, you know, there's nothing really stopping you at all on the way down. You actually found a little bit of turbulence here, right? And that was all the way back here. That was at this little phase. Make no mistake, where you found turbulence here on your way up was the only place that you found turbulence throughout this whole like drop since this area here, right? So make no mistake, the reason why you stopped here is because it's the only logical area to stop. That's why. You've got a very perfect looking bull flag here. It's got this little pizza shape to it. It's one of those triangle flags apparently. And likely I think the Bitcoin pair might have found its low, man. I don't know. We'll see if it has. But I'm digressing here. If this is a bull flag, and I think that it is, from a low to a high, if it is a bull flag, let's even put that target just a little bit below this low, just in case it's not, right? A little bit lower, right? Something like that. I don't think it'll go like dramatically lower, but a little bit lower. The measure move again is an idea. You don't have to stop there. You can go above it. You can go below it. But this idea points specifically to this area here, which is basically the base of this range. Now, can we go a little bit higher than this? Can we stop a little bit lower? Sure, but let's make sense out of that. If we stop a little bit lower, where would we stop? There's no sense to be made out of the price action. Nope, doesn't make sense to me. A little bit higher, okay. Maybe right here, maybe right there at that base right there. Maybe right over here, a little bit higher at this base here. You know, likely we don't stop at the measure move, so I'll delete that line. But like this move where we stopped at the base of this consolidation phase, might we stop at this base here or this base here? I think we can. Let's take the lower numbers so that we're being conservative, because let's just be conservative. That way we're not getting too excited. We're being somewhat realistic or even pessimistic on the reality. So if OnyxCoin on a measure move perspective is expected to go around this area, but it wouldn't make a whole lot of sense for it to stop here in the middle of nowhere. Where would it make sense to stop? Probably exactly like it did last time, right where you found some significance on your consolidation there. High to low, that is in between your 786 and 886 area. It's completely possible that we could go even higher versus Bitcoin, guys. Like genuinely, we could go all the way up to the 886 resistance of this zone, support of this zone here. It's very possible that we could, but we're not even going to take that. We're not going to get too bullish. Let's be conservative, right? I at least would assume off of a consolidation phase like this, we don't double top. I mean, it could happen. We could double top, and if that happens, you know, we can go over that too. But let's just run the math right now. Let's do some number crunching just for funsies, okay? XCN versus Bitcoin. First off, let's be super pessimistic. I want to be super pessimistic. Let's do that. Let's do, is that 6 zeros? 6 zeros, 4, 7, 5, 6, 1. 6 zeros. So this is, by the way, I don't know who's watching this, right? Whether you're bullish or bearish on XCN, but I hope we're all in at least some kind of area of rationality where it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to stop here. You could find a double top, I suppose. It's possible, right? But it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But even with that, let's just do those numbers. Okay, 6 zeros, 4, 7, 5, 6. Okay. 4756, is that what it was? 6 zeros, 4, 7, 5, 6, 1. 561. So that's what XCN would be priced versus Bitcoin, okay, if it went up to that area. Now Bitcoin's at 83K now. I don't know about you guys, but whenever XCN was moving up last time, right, that was here in January, Bitcoin was moving up too. XCN here, whenever it was moving up, that was in January, Bitcoin was moving up too. And it was moving up a little bit, but it was moving up. I would anticipate that this next move for XCN, if it does take us up higher, even if it only takes us here or higher, Bitcoin likely is not at these prices, okay? So if XCN versus Bitcoin is at this price, or at this very unrealistic, minimum pessimistic price, what would Bitcoin's price be? If that was like the end of this move for XCN, I would think at least above 100,000, right? Probably above 130K, but let's just be pessimistic. Let's do 100K. This is going to be a low number, and this is not anything that I'm expecting of XCN, right? But let's just see right here, right? That's 4.7 cents. So in other words, even at the most absolute pessimistic that I can be, XCN is going to go right back up to where it was right here, right back there. And if we get a double top, if that's all it is, we double top in the XCN BTC pair, we double top in the USD pair, and Bitcoin's only at 100K by that time, right? Bitcoin's at 100K, likely it actually continues to run past that, and then XCN just double tops and it comes down. None of this makes sense to me, but okay. If XCN double tops, Bitcoin's at 100K by the time it double tops, and then Bitcoin keeps running, but XCN stops running. Okay, well then I guess we're gonna stop at 4.7 cents, which isn't fun for anybody, but at least you get your money back, right? Now let's be somewhat realistic. Somewhat realistic. This is not realistic still, because we're taking this very pessimistic target versus Bitcoin. Let's say Bitcoin does, I think it's going to go to 170 to 175K by the end of May, by the end of June, somewhere in that kind of time frame. Let's say it only does 130K, right? 130,000. This is still ultra pessimistic, right? That's a 6-cent price. So you're telling me, right? And this is a at least more reasonable price for Bitcoin, right? So, but this is why it's less reasonable for XCN. You're telling me that if Bitcoin's at 130K, that's where it tops off. XCN might top off with it, right? Because it would make sense that they top off. XCN moves up with the rest of crypto. You're telling me that XCN's going to stop here? Okay, it could happen. But after all this consolidation, that's what we're going to see. That's where we're going to go from a high to a low. We're not even going to hit our minimum target on the fibs. That doesn't make sense, right? I feel like I'm grasping at, if I was bearish on this thing to barely go above this high, I feel like I'm grasping at straws. It really, I hope it seems like that, because that's how it feels to me, right? That's like literally how it feels. Let's get realistic. Let's literally get realistic. The realism here is that we would go to at least, oops, sorry, I deleted the wrong one. 502. Let's just say 502. We won't even add the 09. 502. On Bitcoin, okay? 502. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2. And we multiply that again by $100,000 price, which again, Bitcoin likely goes well above 100K by the end of this next move, but let's be realistically pessimistic. Oops, did I do that wrong? Is that right? 502. Did I do it wrong? Only 2 cents? How is it? Did I do this wrong? Did I type in 6 zeros? That's 5 zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 zeros, 2. Did I type in 100,000? That is 100,000. Is that just 2 cents? Is that where we're going to go? 2 cents? That doesn't make sense. Hold on. Wait a second. How did I get 4 cents here? And I did 6 zeros, 4. How? How does that make any sense? How did I point? Oh, it's point. I'm sorry. Ha! That's 20 cents. That's not 2 cents. That's 20 cents. Okay, that makes a lot of sense, even at a pessimistic level, right? This is by the way, the low end of our expectations. Not the low end of what we accept as a pessimistic reality, but the low end of reality on a pessimistic note. This is the low end of our expectations, right around our measure move and everything. And Bitcoin's only at $100,000. If XCN is at this price versus Bitcoin, and Bitcoin's only at 100,000, we have a 20-cent price. My brain did a little fart there, sorry. If we take this same notion and we put Bitcoin at 130K. 26 cents, right? If we put Bitcoin and maybe XCN tops off before Bitcoin, maybe Bitcoin tops off first, and by the time it pulls back, XCN tops off, we could see that, right? They don't have to top off at the same time. But what if they do? What if XCN tops off when Bitcoin's at 170K? That puts us above 30 cents, you guys, right? That puts us above 30 cents. I'm not saying that we have to go there just because the numbers make sense for it to go there. The timing of it all could be different, right? We could top off before Bitcoin, we could top off after Bitcoin, and the price might be different. Just because Bitcoin I'm anticipating will go to 170K or above doesn't mean that XCN will top off at that same moment, right? But something between probably 130 to 170K is appropriate, right? In my opinion. So that'd be a 26 cent to a 34 cent price on a pessimistic note. If we took the higher number, these numbers would only go higher. And I'm not going to do that because I don't care to, but I feel like I've made the point, right? If you can make sense out of it on the Bitcoin pair and the USD pair, and those targets line up with all the things that you're seeing in the fibs, there's really no argument. I mean, there's doesn't mean it's not a prophecy. It's not like it has to happen. Anything can happen, and we could be missing something. Or XCN again, maybe we do get a double top, and it's just a big flop. We'll probably have signals of that by that time as well. But and I'll let you guys know what my thoughts are if and when we're up there. It wouldn't surprise me if we come up here and we find a little bit of resistance, and then we continue to move up, right? We don't just have to blast through the roof, but maybe we do. It kind of depends, right? But very much, I believe that on OnyxCoin here, XCN will go above 20 cents. It might even go above 30 cents. There are reasons to believe it could even go higher than that, but I don't want to go over those reasons now because I feel like I've done enough Moon Boy stuff today. So that's all I got. Hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one. Take it easy. Bye.